I'm riding the Hot Mess Express today, driving the bus. I couldn't find my notes. I couldn't find my drink. I couldn't find my phone. I'm yelling at one child to get out of the bath while the other one is being put to bed. And that's what happens on a Monday. That's what happens. But we're here. I made it. I'm only a few minutes late. So thank you for joining me tonight. And we're going to talk about some things tonight. I see people popping in. I like it. I like what I'm seeing. I have to go, before we dig into the quote unquote script, I have to make a confession that I didn't even know that the awards were on last night, Carol. Yes, the alarm worked. Hi, Carol. Whatever works. Today was a day for you too, Steph. I'm sorry. Why does that always happen? It really happens almost every Monday. And I know because we get all not lax. Parents are never lax, but the weekend's a little bit easier with not having to deal with homework and school and stuff. But I feel like Mondays are always a little bit of a shit show. It's hard to get into a groove after a weekend off. But I did not even know that the awards were on last night. Not that I didn't know, I know that they happened, but I wasn't even paying attention. And then everyone was talking about Lady Gaga and I was like, oh, those are on. I didn't even watch them, which I regret a little bit, but I can probably watch anything I want to see on YouTube. And I don't really know that I care that much right now. So I didn't see any of it. So if you guys have highlights you'd like to share with me, other than the fact that everyone is talking about how Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, were basically like together and the Bradley Cooper's wife looked like she was a third wheel, then feel free to share your findings with the class because I didn't see any of it. Just so you know what's going on here, my older daughter is FaceTiming me from the bath right now because she probably wants me to come in and warm her towel in the towel warmer. That's what goes on here. It's like a hotel with room service and everything. But we're live, so I can't do that. All right, so let's get into our stuff. And also my voice sounds like I'm on the verge of maybe auditioning to be a phone sex operator because all of a sudden I have a cold. I think I have a cold, my throat hurts and it's not a good situation. So bear with me. All right, here's the topic of the day. And this was inspired by actual events that go on in my house every night. Oh wait, Carol, yes, Gaga over Gaga. Yeah, I like her too. And I love Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper is my jam. All right, so I want to talk about how strict you guys are with your kids eating. Habits isn't really the right word, but like the things they request to eat, if you even give them a choice. And before we dig into this conversation, this is going to be like a fun and lighthearted and self-deprecating, and we can all admit that we don't do everything correctly type of conversation. What it isn't going to be, and what is going to make me shut you down completely, is if you start to get judgy about what other people's kids are eating and how they're doing things, because I just want to remind everyone this is a safe space where we can talk about all the stuff we do wrong and the mistakes we make without judgment. So if you're gonna start to like launch into me for what I feed my children, then just go away now because I'm not interested, because my kids are doing just fine. All right, so I posted, I think 2 days ago, and I want to pull up the story. Oh, she's texting me now. Oh, hold on. Okay, so I posted in my story about the fact that my toddler, now that she's at the age where I can ask her what she wants to eat, which is great because I don't have to guess anymore. I mean, it's a 50-50 shot whether she's actually going to eat it, but I can ask her what she wants to eat for her meals and she'll tell me. So I asked her what she wanted at 9:30 in the morning because she barely eats breakfast. She's like just not a breakfast person. I asked her what she wanted and she said mac and cheese. And I was like, really? And she said, yes, I want mac and cheese, in a baby voice, but I don't imitate. I cannot, that's something I can't stand, is when people imitate their kids in like the baby voices. Just tell me what they said. I don't need like I can't even think tonight. What's the word when you mimic somebody? Impersonation. I don't need you to impersonate your child's voice. It's really annoying. Jason, pasta. She didn't ask for pasta. She asked specifically for mac and cheese. Stephanie, I make whatever for breakfast. My theory is if donuts are okay, nothing is off the table. I've made mac and cheese for breakfast before. Good. So I'm not alone. So I made her mac and cheese and she ate it. And it's funny because I posted on my Instagram stories and I posted on Facebook. I put a little poll and said, if your child asked for mac and cheese at 9:30 in the morning, would you make it? And on both channels, it was like 90-something% said yes, and a few said no. And I really want to know, and this is not a judgmental question, I'm genuinely asking, why do you say no? Like, why are you so adamant against the people who said no? I need to know your rationale, because the way that I looked at it was, she never eats breakfast. Like, once in a while I can get her to have like a granola bar or something like that, but she never eats breakfast. And I figured if she was asking for it, that she would eat it. So it was my pleasure to give it to her. And someone actually posted something that I've heard before. It's really smart, saying that it's totally fine because their little brains and bellies don't know what breakfast food is versus dinner food. And who cares if they're hungry for something? What's the worst thing that happens if you give a kid mac and cheese? To me, it was a raging success because she ate and she never eats breakfast. So if she wants mac and cheese every day for breakfast, I'm going to give her mac and cheese. But there were a number of people that said, absolutely not, I would not do it. And my thought is they probably said no because they don't want to, it's a power struggle. They don't want the child to have power, which I completely respect. But I'm also going to own the fact that I have lost power. I don't have any power at all. Zero. I lost control of the ship a long time ago. So if my child asks me for something that I know they're going to eat for breakfast, I'm going to give it to them. I mean, it's better than like the cupcakes she had a couple weeks ago because she was not eating anything. And then like an hour after breakfast time, she asked for a cupcake. And I was like, okay, sounds good. Something in your body. Oh, look, Ava, go.
I was waiting to get smothered with your love.
She was waiting to get smothered with my love. I will smother you. Don't come in here with a towel. I'm on camera.
I'm not going on camera. Okay, listen to me.
Remember what I was just saying about the I lost control of the ship. This is
I am in the middle of having a conversation. Hi, y'all. All right, anyways, look me in the eyes. Okay? Why didn't I get a smotherness of your love?
Because your mother's working right now.
No excuses. I asked for a yes or no answer.
Okay, go in your room and I will smother you, Ava.
Wait, I need to have a good role in this right now.
You don't need a good role in this. Oh, you know what? This is a good conversation. You can't be on camera because you're not dressed, but let me ask you this. Can you shut the closet door for a second, please? And then you can leave. This is the only way I'm letting you do this.
Only if I forgot to curse.
No, you don't get to curse. If you curse, you're out. Here's my question for you. And speak up a little bit so they can hear you.
Oh, yes, queen.
So the topic...
I do nothing but speak up.
So the topic we're talking about right now is if you should be strict about... No. You don't even know what I'm going to say.
I don't want, like, strict in general.
If you should be strict about what you let your children eat. Like Sienna the other day asked me for mac and cheese for breakfast, and I gave it to her, and she ate it, even though it's not like a breakfast food. If you were a mother and your child asked for mac and cheese, would you say no just because it's not a breakfast food, or would you let them...
Before I answer this, is this for a company, and if I'm in this, you're going to get fired?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, whoever's making you do this, but you need this. Okay, you need some sass. Anyway, are people commenting and seeing this right now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people are commenting. A lot of people are on, Ava. Just answer the question.
Wait, it's on?
No. Answer the question, please. You're holding me up. The question was, if your child asked for something...
please be strict.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I think your child should love you and think that you're the best parent, whatever father.
That's not nice buttering me up, but that's not what I asked. I asked
and you should give them treats because they make kids happy. And if they don't have treats and their friends say, what did you have for dessert? Oh, I just had spaghetti. What in the heck? Why? You think I'm gonna... You're gonna make your child.
See?
You're gonna make.
Do you understand now?
Stop interrupting. You're gonna make your child lose her friends when she's not
Carol,
popular.
I'm in so much trouble. So much trouble. You have no idea.
Hey, give me them digits.
Now out.
Are there any hot boys in?
No, no hot boys are on. Get out.
Can I have the digits?
Get out.
Does anyone know why?
Ava, you're gonna be embarrassed in a second. Get out.
Why?
Because I'm asking you to. Go. Come on. Go. If I stand up, it's the game over, and you're gonna be very upset. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Shut the door, please. I'll be in your room.
Thank you, viewers, for letting me be in your sass wars. Hit me up with them digits.
Shut the door and go. Okay, so we're going to continue. Shut the door and go. I'm getting really annoyed.
Yeah, it's not.
It's real life, you guys. This is live TV and I can't do anything about it. Okay? I am. You know what, Stephanie? I am going to keep it for when she's a mom if she makes it, because she's going to get grounded so hard if she does not leave.
When I have them kids.
Ava, get out.
Listen to me. When I have when I have kids, I'm gonna get married.
Everyone just takes over. And then I have shit like this in my closet. Like,
why? Now. Oh, I'm doing
Bye. This is the other problem, is I don't have a closet door that locks.
Trust me, your viewers are gonna love this. Comment below if you love me.
I can't. Shirley, I do want her to leave.
Check out my Musical.ly channel.
But your Musical.ly channel is private for a reason.
It's
Goodbye.
Not. I'm following
this is why I need a closet door that locks.
No, you don't.
And this is why I cry once a week from my children. Ava, get out.
What do I say?
I'm not kidding. Goodbye. Bye. You guys. Did my whole stomach just hang out when I stand up? When I stood up, please just tell me that. It's not funny. Go. I'm so glad you guys are along for this journey with me of real life motherhood, of seeing what goes on in the trenches. I always keep it real, but now you guys see that, like, this is how it is. All right. So anyway, I want to get back to the food conversation. So oh, Carol, this is like that guy on air. His kids came in. Yes, it totally is. That's exactly what it's like. I'm not wearing fishnets, Shirley. I'm wearing yoga pants that have like fishnet stuff in it. Strong-willed is cute till it's not. Trust me, I have one. Preach. Jessica, I'm so with you, because I have girls, and I think as the parent of girls, and I've said this before, it is so important that they have a sense of self and they have confidence, because, you know, without sounding like, you know, cliche, we get the short end of the stick a lot. And so I want my girls to be strong, but there is such a fine line between strong and annoying. And that's what we're working on. Oh, Stace, you just missed a whole appearance by Ava, who wouldn't leave because she knows that I'm live and I'm not really going to yell, but it was not a pretty situation. Or was it? I don't know. It's par for the course. So I have a lot of theories about eating issues with children and the reason why I'm not strict about it. And everyone has their own situation in their house. And I respect everyone's, you know, own way of how they handle their kids eating. I mean, I have some friends' kids who eat everything from hummus to avocado to every vegetable under the sun. And then there's kids like mine who eat like the normal run-of-the-mill kid stuff like mac and cheese and chicken nuggets and pizza and those things. And I used to fight my older daughter like crazy, to the point where I was in tears to get her to eat, because she wanted nothing but cereal or carbs or dairy, like never protein except for chicken every once in a while. I can't even tell you the last time she had a vegetable. And I mean, I count tomato sauce because there's stuff in there, but like she just doesn't eat anything like that. And I used to fight with her and get so frustrated and feel like I was failing and feel like I just wasn't doing right by her, and there was nothing that I could do to fix it. And I had a conversation with a psychologist about the whole thing, and she said to me, and it's funny because my pediatrician growing up said the same thing to my mother when my brother and I were little. The psychologist said, I know it's frustrating, I know it's not an ideal situation, but here's what you do. Like, make dinner, make whatever you're making her for dinner. And if she doesn't want it, she gets one other option. Every night she can have the dinner that you're offering her, or she can have mac and cheese or cereal. Like, you can pick an out and she can have that. She just has to eat. And so the reason why I stopped pushing her was because the other thing the psychologist was telling me, which I already knew this because I am a woman and I've been surrounded by women my whole life, and I've seen things like this happen firsthand, is that when you start to give children anxiety about food and what they're eating or not eating, there are definitely correlations to behaviors that can be tied or linked to eating disorder situations. And, you know, I think that some kids are more anxious than others, and I didn't ever want to put my older child in that situation where she where she looked at mealtime as this thing she hated so much, because I knew that if I painted that picture in her head of that's what it was going to be like every time she sat down and ate, I was going to be in for a world of trouble. So I backed off. And basically, I just let her have whatever she was going to eat, whether it was cereal or chicken nuggets, whatever she chose to eat for dinner, that's what she had. And something pretty crazy happened. She started a new school this year, and she brought lunch with her for like the first couple weeks. And then all of a sudden, I started getting emails that she had a low lunch balance. And I was like, I never signed up for a lunch program. Long story short, she, on her own volition, because she wasn't being pressured and wasn't being pushed, and also was surrounded by peers and friends her age that were eating the food, decided to branch out and start eating the cafeteria food. Every day she eats food in the cafeteria. I see what she eats. I see what she's getting. And it's the same stuff, chicken, pizza, whatever. But for someone, if you have a picky eater, you know the struggle of, it's not as easy as, oh, they eat chicken nuggets. Great. They'll eat chicken nuggets everywhere. No, that's not how it works. Because if you have a picky eater, maybe they'll eat the chicken nuggets in your house or from a restaurant. But if they look different, smell different, have green flecks in them or whatever at other places, they're not touching them. So when you have a kid like that, who then totally on her own starts eating things, you back off. And so I've taken a little bit of the same approach with Sienna, because I don't know what else to do. In the beginning, Sienna ate whatever I put in front of her. The kid was taking down branzino and linguine from one of Jason's restaurants, and it was like the best day of my life. Now she's wants like the same thing, mac and cheese. I can hide some vegetables and stuff every once in a while, but it's really, really frustrating. And I know that I'm not the only mother who makes themselves crazy with mealtime. I've written about it a million times, but it is so frustrating, and I'm trying so hard to have a different approach. I even posted an article in here, I want to say a couple months ago, and a bunch of people responded about how, I think it was in Scary Mommy, someone wrote a whole story about how it changed their life when they started to give their kids dinner at like 3 or 4 o'clock instead of dinner time, because they stopped snacking. They come in from school. What do your kids do when they come in from school, right? They start downing snacks. They just want snacks. And so they're not necessarily hungry when dinner time comes around. So I read that article and I was like, this is actually a really good idea. And if they don't know the difference between when dinner time is, why not? And so my older one does eat sometimes. She'll come home and have a bowl of cereal or pizza or whatever, before 5 o'clock, and then maybe she'll have a couple snacks, and it works out better. So we don't do it regularly, but I have noticed that I think it's an excellent tactic if you're willing to be flexible. I have some friends that are not willing to be flexible. It's a control thing for them. They want the kids to know who's in charge, and I wish I had that life. I just don't. But their kids eat whatever they put in front of them. Their kids eat dinner with the family every night, and it's the way that people envision it being. But the reality of motherhood is that it's not always that way, and it's okay to roll with the punches sometimes. Dana, thank you for talking about this. My daily struggle with my 4-year-old. It's so hard. And I think that it's even harder when you're surrounded by people who have kids within the same age brackets, and they are eating everything under the sun. Like I will never forget, I think it was last year, I was in one of the classes I take with my younger daughter, and there were 2 little boys in there who's one of the moms I'm friendly with. And those kids were eating for whatever, snack time. They were eating things that I probably don't even eat, but they were such good eaters. And instead of being like proud, I was envious. I was like, I wish that my children would eat like that. Where did I go wrong? What did I do differently? I feel like I exposed them to all the things I was supposed to expose them to when they started baby foods. I feel like I exposed them to all the things I was supposed to expose them to when I started solids. And it just sometimes does not pan out. And I have 2 kids who are incredibly stubborn and picky eaters. And I have so much shit that goes on in my daily life that I cannot fight over mealtime anymore. So I've stopped fighting. And I will tell you that my sanity is better because of it. Their sanity is better. It's no longer stressful over mealtime. And that's okay. And my pediatrician, when I was growing up, used to say to my mom, they'll eat when they're hungry. They're not going to starve to death. And you have to remember their stomachs are like that big. So what you envision them eating and you don't think it's enough is enough for them. And I try and keep that in mind all the time and remind myself that my kids are in a loving, healthy, functional home with people who love and support them and show them affection, and there's no shortage of it. And so if the worst thing they do is they're shitty eaters, then I'll deal with it. I was not the greatest eater through my whole childhood. I was the person who had plain pasta and no salad dressing, and I hated every condiment. I was very, very picky about the stuff I ate. And then you know what happened? I went to college. I joined a sorority. My parents paid for the meal plan, and they were like, over our dead body, are you going out to eat on our dime every night when we're paying for a meal plan? You're going to eat what's in the house. And I started eating things I'd never eaten before. Now I'm not even the only thing I'm picky with is proteins. Other than that, I will eat any vegetable, any fruit. Like I'm good like that. But it was not until I was 18 years old that happened. Oh, hold on. I missed a bunch of stuff. Carol, I think it's also a pick your battle situation, 100%. And we all have different things that we prioritize. And it's not that what my kids eat isn't important, but I know that they're getting food and they're nourished and it's okay. And so I'm not going to make myself crazy about it. Stephanie, I can't use the word lunch or the 3 and 4-year-old won't eat. I say, here's some hot dogs. Someone else wrote about that too. And there's all these jokes that people say, and I joked about it today with some fellow mommy blogger meme makers on Instagram, that we should just start calling dinner time snack time and maybe our kids would eat. And it's totally true. That's actually a good tactic to not label it. Maybe it does make a difference. Stacy, they go through phases constantly. Totally. Shelby, little but not much. Balance through the day. They want cookies at breakfast, Brussels sprouts at night. It's balance. Yep, totally. Stacy, in my house, it helps that the older girls eat everything. It encourages Ashton to try more stuff. I do think that helps. But now I see the reverse of it, because the baby wants to be exactly like her big sister. She loves that child so much that from the way she walks and the things that come out of her mouth, she mimics everything. So now if she sees her eating something, she wants it too. And so, there are a lot of times my older one's in school and I'm home alone with the little one. And so there's plenty of opportunities to eat without her. But when she's at the table with her, she wants whatever she's eating. And so it's a challenge. Stephanie, my littles will eat all sorts of food. They're picky about when they eat, not what they eat. I would love to have that problem, because then I would give them, if they're great eaters, I don't care as long as they have food in their body. So that's actually pretty awesome. Stacy, I still say things I never ate before. Yeah. Caroline, no fish eyes. So Caroline, who our kids were in school together at a previous school, she would post pictures when she went on vacations with her daughter, who's the same age, eating octopus and crazy seafood. And I'm like, I can't even get my child to put syrup on a pancake. Or not that that's a good example, but I'm saying, like, I can't even get her to eat those run-of-the-mill things, and this child's eating octopus. It's crazy town. So that's my belief on the whole eating thing. I'm just trying to be a little bit less frantic about it. It's a work in progress. I don't do well with it every day, but I feel like every day I just try and remind myself that they're getting food. It may not be my first choice, but there's plenty of time for them to fix that situation. I mean, I ate very similar to my older daughter and I turned out just fine, some may say. Lana, this was me tonight. I love your view on this. Thank you. It's like I said, it's a work in progress, and I'm sure there will be mistakes and flaws, but there are too many things, I think, with our kids that we really need to pick and choose our battles with. And not that food isn't important, but because it is, but I also think pushing the agenda too much with food could backfire, and I'm not willing to risk that. So that's how I feel about that. All right, my vent session is going to be a very quick one, because I don't know how much there is to say about this. And this could be a regional thing. Yes, Caroline, escargot. I know, you don't rub it in and get cocky, okay? I'm just kidding. I love you. My vent sesh today is, I don't know if this is a problem that is around the world or mostly here Molly, I have to hide in the closet. It's the only place with a door where there's really not room for multiple people. Although, if you were on earlier, you missed my older daughter barging in because my door is one of those like pocket doors. It doesn't lock, and she wouldn't leave. And she knows she has me by the balls when I'm live on camera, and I can't like lose my shit on her. So it was fun. That's happened a couple times. Tune in again. I'm sure you'll see it. It's not the last time it's going to happen. All right. So my vent sesh. I want to talk about dogs and strollers, particularly in the mall, but just dogs and strollers in general. Molly, I'm hiding in the bathtub, so no worries. You do you. You do what you need to do. We all have our hiding spots. I want to talk about dogs and strollers. Here where I live, and all over South Florida in general, there is an epidemic in every mall that you go into where people walk around the mall, and it's mostly an older demographic. I mean, that's I'm stereotyping a bit, but it's pretty accurate. It's mostly an older demographic, and they push their dogs in strollers in the mall. And here's what I don't understand. And don't even get me started on the whole like support animal thing, because that system has been abused so much. And I'm sorry, but the woman who's Botoxed from head to toe in her Louboutins at 9 o'clock in the morning and her designer everything, carrying a little Yorkie in the grocery store, that's not your emotional support dog. You're please don't. Stacy, wait a second. Didn't Piggy get schlepped around in a stroller? She did, but I'm going to get into that. I'll talk about that in a second. So before everyone launches into me about why the medical reasons their dogs may need strollers, I'm going to, in the interest of full disclosure, tell you that my family animal was a pug named Piglet. We lost her, was it last year? She lived a very long life. She was 17 years old and she was so cute, but towards the last several years of her life, she couldn't walk anymore. And my parents live in a high rise. So when my mom would take her out to go to the bathroom, she physically just couldn't walk out of the elevator, couldn't walk in the grass. So my mom bought a stroller, which I was horrified by, but I understood the logic. I mean, it didn't have to be a leopard stroller, but to each his own. So she put her in a stroller to walk her downstairs. Then she would take her out to put her on the grass so that she didn't have to like walk because she would lose her breath, and it was just not a good situation. If you have a stroller for that reason, I get it. Do what you need to do. The thing I have an issue with is, number one, do you really have to bring your dog to the mall? Like, are you telling me that you're in the mall for that long that your dog can't stay home? You can't leave your animal. I have two dogs here. You couldn't pay me all the dollars in the world to put either dog in a stroller and schlep them to the mall. I usually go to the mall to get away from everybody. I'm not bringing my dogs with me. So I don't understand this trend of pushing dogs around the mall. Caroline, cats in strollers. I've seen a couple cats in strollers too, and that's weird. It's just weird. I don't understand. I don't get the need to, no matter how much you love your pet, to not be able to separate from them, because it's not, people will blame the pet and say, oh, they don't do well when I'm not home. And that may be true, but I think it's also, they don't want to be away from their pet, and I can't take it. Every time I see a dog being carted around in a stroller in the mall, I get irrationally angry, and I want to like go up to the person and be like, but why? Like, what's happening? Why do you need this to happen? Stacy, for some people, those dogs are their babies. That's totally fine. But, and I know you're an animal lover also, I have no issue with them being their babies, but their dogs don't need to come to a shopping mall. Like, they can go to the mall for a couple hours and come home and like make out with their dog. They don't have to bring them to a mall in a stroller. And it's weird. And there's nothing you're going to say that's going to convince me otherwise, even though I love you since we're 5 years old and you have your own animal farm in your house. Carol, I'm dying too, Carol. I'm dying a slow death when I have to walk around the town center mall in Boca Raton and be bombarded with dogs and strollers. I think there are more dogs and strollers than Starbucks. That's what I think. And it's really, really making me crazy. Stephanie, I literally think my dog is my soulmate. I leave her home. Right. To me, there is no correlation with how much you love your animal and you putting that animal in a stroller to go to a mall. My husband loves the dogs like they are his own flesh and blood. Okay. Never in a million years would he put them in a stroller and not be able to be without them to take them to a mall. It's weird. Sorry, but it's weird. Caroline, that's a little C thing. Oh, the cats hate it. I can't, of course they hate it. Cats don't want to be in a stroller. Stacy, I am, but I don't own a stroller and would never, but I'd also never take my dog to the mall. Right. That's what I'm saying. You're proving my point. And you, Stacy, you guys don't know Stacy unless you're friends with her personally, which some of you on here may be. She collects dogs. She collects animals. She's got her own like pop-up puppy store in her house. That's how much she loves animals. Even she's saying she would never put them in a stroller. Carol, I'm dying because I get it. Good. I'm glad I'm not alone. Sorry, not sorry, Molly. It's weird as fuck. It is. It's weird. It's weird. And I know I always say no judgment, so I'm like contradicting myself, but I'm sorry. Like it's weird. That was what I'm venting about. All right. Now I'm going to wrap up with what I'm loving. Let me give you an update quick though. If you were with me last week, you saw that I bought the gloves, the silicone gloves that you wash dishes with. I think someone even ordered them. So here's my 2 cents on them. And I'm thinking that when I do this whole what I'm loving, maybe I'll like do a, I'll judge them by telling you if I liked it or loved it. Would that be good, or should I just give you my feedback? Stacy, it's not just me. Jason is just as crazy. My Jason. Yeah, well, you know, takes one to know one. Caroline, I know you collect cats. I'm fully aware. So the gloves, the silicone gloves for washing dishes, the whole deal with them was you're supposed to be able to just use no sponge and scrub the dishes. So I like them for certain things. I like that you can like manipulate your hands and fingers into certain crevices and nooks and crannies and clean stuff. The only really annoying thing about them is that they're not like a sponge. They don't hold soap. So you have to kind of keep putting soap on all the stuff you're washing. But they were, I'm definitely keeping them around. I'm into it. All right. So for what I'm loving, I don't know if you guys have tried this yet from Target, but I am obsessed with it. This, and this specific flavor, I know they're not flavor, you know what I mean, scent. This scent, the lemon sugar scent of this raw sugar is so fresh and delicious smelling. My husband never comments on any soap or anything I've ever used in my life. And the other day he used it on the baby and he was like, that smells really good. You should use it. And I was like, hello, I do. Whose do you think it is? So clearly he doesn't love it when it's on me. Stephanie, I say a 5-star system. Okay, we'll do a 5-star system. So I'll give the gloves a 4. I'll give them a solid 4. They're teetering on like 3.5 and a 4, but I like them. I would buy them again if I had to. And here's the other thing I love, and I'm gonna give you a couple quick announcements and we're gonna go. I love Reese's peanut butter cups, but you know what I love more than Reese's peanut butter cups? I love the Reese's eggs, which are now out. And I feel like shit today. And my husband called me on the way home from work and I told him I didn't feel good. And he asked me if I wanted him to pick up cold medicine. So I said yes. And this is what I'm going to tell you. A good husband stops on his way home from work and picks up cold medicine. But a great husband sticks a couple of these in the bag and doesn't even say a word. He just waits for you to find them like, surprise. That's a great husband. He's a keeper. All right, a couple of quick announcements. If you have been following Insta stories and seen the posts on Facebook, we are in the process, me and a few other fantastic, wonderful mommy content creators. We are filming scenes for the Real Housewives of Instagram. So stay tuned for that because that's what I was doing before this. So stay tuned. It's going to be fun. If you like sarcasm and parody, it will be fun. I actually had someone be like, oh my God, congratulations. Like it was a real show that we were signed on. And I was like, oh, you're so cute. No, we're just doing this on our own. There's not like an official thing. We're making it official, but it is hilarious and they are hilarious women. So stay tuned for that. The first episode is going to drop soon. And the second thing is on Wednesday, I'm going to post I was a guest on the Fun in a Mom Bun podcast, and there are 2 great women who asked tons of fun and real and honest questions. And what did we talk about? We talked about self-love, the postpartum body, you know, that whole situation, and parenting styles. So it's going to be a good listen. I will post it on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. And definitely check out the Real Housewives of Instagram and let me know your thoughts on it. My daughter's staring at me again through the closet.
I want to give you a hug. Goodbye.
See, and this is what they do to you. They make you crazy and they're like, I just want to give you a hug. And then you feel like a jerk because your child just wants to hug you. All right, come here.
Exactly.
Come here.
Wait, before you start this. Why am I on this side and that side? Ooh,
Wait, whoever said mascara primer last week, thank you. I got so and love it. It makes such a difference. Oh, I love when people learn from each other on this little time we share. Carol, I do take my Lola out from time to time. I'm dying because I'm a little guilty, but not in a stroller, but I do have one. What do you think about people who walk? What do you think about people who walk their dogs around in a stroller in the mall?
I think it's adorable. I just think I feel bad for the dog.
You feel bad for the dog? Yeah.
Y'all, I got 5 pets, but my mother, she's a good mommy, said I could get another fish. Because we have like a tradition where, well, not tradition, but like my dreams. And whenever my fish dies, I get a new one, and it's like the best, and I love it, and I just think it's so amazing. Don't sing.
All right, everybody.
Can I please get another fish?
Have a great Monday night.
I tried to kill mine.
Thank you. That's not something that you should say. That's a horrible thing to say.
Oh, it was hideous, and it was foam coming out of its mouth.
She's
so
joking.
I didn't care.
Everyone have a great Monday, and we will see you. It is a takeover, Carol. It's a total takeover. I've been here for 2
seconds.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Leaving? Y'all.
All right, everyone have a great week. We will see you next week. Bye.
No.